We focus on Bible prophecy every week for about 5 minutes. I've been telling you that we're considered futurists. We interpret the unfulfilled prophetic portions of the book of the Revelation, the book of Daniel, and all other unfulfilled future promises as just that, future, in a literal, physical, apocalyptic, and global context. So they're not allegorical or metaphorical. They're literal, and they will be fulfilled. One of the reasons that we are futurists is because Jesus was a futurist when he gave his great discourse on prophecy in Matthew 24 and 5. He quoted from Daniel as if the events Daniel spoke of were yet in the future, a literal future. In fact, whenever someone in the Bible read unfulfilled prophecies, they understood them to be futural and literal. Now, one of the things we can expect in the last days is a falling away from the faith. The Apostle Paul told Timothy, this is from 2 Timothy 4, "For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but according to their own desires, because they have itching ears, they will heap up for themselves teachers, and they will turn away their ears from the truth and be turned aside to fables." And then he said in 2 Thessalonians 2, "Let no one deceive you by any means, for that day will not come unless the falling away comes first." He's talking there about apostasy, about falling away from the faith. Lately, two notable people who profess faith in Jesus have announced they're falling away from Jesus. Relevant magazine published a story titled, "Hillsong Songwriter Marty Sampson Says He's Losing His Christian Faith." Excerpts from that article read like this: Marty Sampson is a prolific worship music writer, writing and co-writing songs for Hillsong, Hillsong United, Delirious, and Young and Free. Sampson took to Instagram to inform his followers, saying, "Time for some real talk. I'm genuinely losing my faith, and it doesn't bother me. Like, what bothers me now is nothing. I'm so happy now, so at peace with the world. It's crazy. Christians can be the most judgmental people on the planet. They can also be some of the most beautiful and loving people, but it's not for me." A bigger shock was the announcement by Joshua Harris that he no longer considers himself a Christian. Quoting the article, Harris shot to fame in the early 2000s with his controversial book, I Kissed Dating Goodbye, and its follow-up, Boy Meets Girl, Say Hello to Courtship. He's also written about topics like theology and the church. In recent years, he has distanced himself from the I Kissed Dating Goodbye and announced that he had asked his publisher to discontinue it. He and his wife are divorcing. On Instagram, Harris said, "By all the measurements I have for defining a Christian, I am not a Christian." So this is sadly, very sadly, to be expected from a literal futurist point of view. We obviously need to pray for these individuals and hope that they would come back to faith in Jesus Christ. I'm not making any judgment on them. They are making news by making these public announcements of apostasy, and this is what we would expect from reading the Bible. Jesus promised he'd return to rapture his church, which entails the resurrection of the dead in Christ and then the translation of living believers to heaven, where we will await his second coming as the tribulation unfolds on the earth. And the rapture, as you know, is presented as an imminent, any moment event. So are you ready for the rapture? If not, get ready, stay ready, keep looking up, because ready or not, Jesus is coming.